Good evening, everyone. So, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited about our time together today. So, we're going to talk about something that every single one of us struggles with. So, basically, the topic that keeps coming up for me and with my clients and people ask me is time management, especially for senior leaders and executives. So, it's not just about the usual tips and tricks that you get or the information that you see out there, but this is completely different. This is something that I use in my own personal life and in my business, right? And it's very important because, time is such a, precious thing for every one of us, right? And time with, within the work, and that affects our personal lives, time with family and kids. So all of that. So we're going to go just deeper into how you can actually reclaim your time and energy. So this is not just about typical time management tips, but really reclaiming, right? Reclaiming your power, reclaiming your time, and reclaiming your energy, because that is super important on how you navigate your, if you want a work-life balance or navigating your workplace, right? Without feeling burnt out, as health is a priority. So that you can maximize your impact both as an executive, as a leader, and if you're a father or a mother, so all at once, right? So you don't have to do one or the other. So by the end of this, like just a quick, video on just have actionable methods that you can use. I'm going to share with you what I'm doing and what I teach my clients as well as a coach, as an executive coach. So these things you can implement right away so that you can take control of your calendar and energy and you can stop feeling like you're always running up on autopilot and you can actually lead with clarity. You can lead with energy and be the leader who you're meant to be, right? So when you're not feeling overwhelmed and burned out and you're actually having time and energy for everything, you should kind of show up better, right? As a leader. So you lead with purpose, you lead with authenticity, and you lead with clarity, which are all super important things for executives. Okay. So who am I? This is my, doing some more events and, all these videos. So I actually have a podcast where I give my insights, but now I'm doing video based so that, some people want to see who I truly am. So I'm Mina and I'm actually an executive coach, leadership and executive coach. And I help high performing executives and leaders like yourself to maximize their time and energy and productivity so they can show up with clarity and purpose. And it's not just at work, but in also your personal lives as well. So personal and professional. So just like you, I've been in the trenches too, as someone who has worked with senior leaders in a fast-paced, high-stakes environment, right? How corporate world is. I know how demanding it is. There's a lot of pressure. You feel like you're kind of doing the right things and you're just being productive, but technically it's just busy work. Um, so like especially when you're at the top, it's like there's so much on your plate, right? And I've also experienced overwhelming stress that can arise when you're constantly reacting to emails, and jumping from meeting to meeting, and you don't even know if these meetings are going to help you grow or it's really truly giving you the impact that you deserve. And feeling that you're just stuck in a never-ending cycle of tasks and obligations. And one client came to me saying that, Vina, like I'm just always available for people. Like, what about time for me to take a break? Right? I don't even have a lunch break. So it's very important to have some time for yourself. So through my work with executives, I've seen like common threads, common problems that come up, which are burnout. They're feeling overwhelmed, dissatisfied. I'm sure you kind of, when I say those things, you also feel that way too. But I witnessed a transformation that occurs when leaders make a shift. It's a simple shift. There's simple shifts that kind of make a really big difference, and especially when I work with my clients, that rather than managing the time and trying to prioritize everything, you're actually reclaiming it. So when I mean micro reclaiming, is you're simplifying, you're minimalizing things, right? And removing distractions. So getting to the core cause of what that burnout's like. So reclaiming your power and your time and energy, right? So 1 hour of your time is so valuable. And to be honest, I prioritize a lot of my energy and time these days, especially energy, because we kind of expend that energy on the wrong things at times, right? That's not going to make us move the needle in our career. So we need to be extremely protective of that and set our boundaries. So over the years, I've helped executives in different industries, so from tech to finance, healthcare, and in consulting. So reclaim their time and energy, and as a result, they elevated their presence because they were able to show up and elevated their leadership and were better with their team and fostered a nice culture. So improved their team's performance. And not only that, but they rediscovered who they are. They rediscovered who they are, and they had a sense of fulfillment within themselves. Like, hey, like, I can make an impact without having to put so much of effort. And especially for women out there, this is super important. As women, we tend to overwork and grind, thinking that we're going to feel seen and heard. But in reality, we don't need to do all of that. It's just really about taking back that time. Time is precious. You cannot get it back, right? So we think like when it comes to price tag, we always think about it in terms of money, but it's also in terms of your health and your time and your energy. Right. So, and I'm here because I'm truly believe that time is your most valuable asset. And as a leader, right? So when you manage it effectively, you unlock the ability to lead more strategically, right? So you're more intentional with your time. And when you're more intentional about the decisions you make, you create a greater impact within a short amount of time. And not only that, but you live a life of like freedom, right? You have more time freedom, and you love the work that you do. So you're actually pretty good at it at work and outside, and you have that work-life harmony, right? So you're able to balance these things. And these things are some problems that keep coming up for me from clients. So, getting into more of the blocks that I hear is basically some people are saying, like, I'm constantly putting out fires. So, basically, what I'm saying is that executives are caught in a more reactive mode. So, you spend so much of your time on something because of a perfectionism, maybe. And that I'm also guilty of, right? And that's why I've overcome that perfectionism internally. And I'm sharing it with others that. You might, respond to emails, handling urgent issues like admin tasks, fixing mistakes, and your to-do keeps growing, right? And you feel like you're always behind because it's just those admin tasks, right? That you're just like, this is not really moving the needle. Like I need to do it, but it's like really urgent or not. So you're pulled in different directions and then you're just like busy. It's busy work and you haven't really made progress on the most important work, right? That's truly important. So why does this happen? Because it's a lack of strategic focus, right? There's no focus. The tasks are not focus based. And you need to set clear goals, right? That's where goal setting comes from. That's where clear priorities come from. When you don't have time blocked for high impact work, you get stuck, right? That stagnation comes in and you go into low value tasks. So you spend 3 hours on low value tasks that you only have like not even an hour for the main things. And you're like, oh shoot, I haven't gotten the work done even though I should have, right? So it's really about managing that time effectively. So you want strategic focus, strategic planning as a leader. These things are super important. Some people tell me that, they're more tasks based and there's no time for strategy, like deep thinking and the strategy aspect for a leader is really important. You want to know how to, balance both. So you're so caught up in day-to-day operations that they just don't have the mental space to think strategically, right? And what I mean by strategically is like long-term vision of yourself and for the company. So it's all about meetings and emails and calls. It's just like distractions, right? You don't want all those distractions. And sometimes you just need to take 30 minutes to just step back and be like, where am I headed? What's the next direction? Or if you're in a C-suite, what is the next step in this company, right? So what can I do differently in my role? So sometimes you need to kind of take a step back and do that. And Like I said, it's all about time blocking. So how are you blocking your time? And you want to change your habits, right? It's all about habits and being disciplined. So rather than being a reactive, you want to be proactive, right? So being proactively shaping the future, shaping your vision, your mission, your goals, right? And then how that aligns with the business objectives. So those are really important that you make at least an hour in the morning for just strategy and then for the other stuff, the tasks. Because if you take up all of your time for tasks, you're going to just not make as much progress as you should be. Right. So a lot of other things, I feel like I'm burning out. But even though I'm burnt out, I'm not going to stop and I'll just do the same thing. Burnout is not just physical, it's emotional and mental exhaustion. So a lot of, especially I see it in women that they think you just push harder and you work harder, that's going to just get the work done. But in reality, it's going to make it worse, right? So you're going to exacerbate the feelings of burnout. You have to always feel like you're always on, being on time, being prompt, being available. And I see this in women, like I said, we feel guilty for taking a break, that, maybe we have to prove ourselves, and it's all limiting belief. It's all in us that it's okay to prioritize our health. It's okay to, practice self-care when you need it. Just take the time to self-reflect. And I did say this to my, recent client who's a director, and I literally helped her block some time, like just 30 minutes for meditation. Just reflect on, what's the next step for you? What are you looking for, and not just keep being on autopilot, like a software, right? So it's really important to prioritize recovery and rejuvenation, and especially on the weekends. That even if it's like for 30 minutes, you know, it, you have to make time for things that are important to you and what you value. So you don't want to be on constant grind. I know that's a hustle culture. We want to get out of that, right? And when you don't take a break, you're going to lose your edge and you're not going to be showing up the way you should be. And that impact's not going to happen. And you're not going to be valued by the manager the way you should be. So resting is extremely important. Um, so you don't want to keep adding tasks, actually, which people think is going to help. You want to simplify this. So you know how simplify the complex. So don't have too much on your plate and choose the top three priorities, right? So a lack of effective prioritization and task management leads to overwhelm, right? So you want to make sure that people think they feel overwhelmed because um, I think they just think it's like, oh my God, like if I just feel overwhelmed and I just, do the same thing will lead to a certain outcome. It's not. You need to change the way you think, change the way you act, your habits. Um, where are you expending your energy and time, right? You need to look at the root cause of it, right? So when everything feels urgent, nothing gets the attention it deserves, right? And also, I noticed that there's a perfectionism, right? So, but also people pleasing is another limiting belief that I see, that you have to say yes to everything, which is not necessary, but where boundaries are very important. So requests for meetings, additional responsibilities. So this is something that I'm also guilty of because, as leaders and as women, we are always the go-to person, that we're always available, even if we know that even that same 30 minutes is going to help us if we prioritize family time on the evening. But instead of family time, we're doing email tasks, like just manual email tasks. We know we're wasting a little bit of time, right? So, and obviously saying yes to everyone is, not the solution, that it's okay to say no, right? So we have this fear of missing opportunities and disappointing others, but it's okay to say no to someone when you feel like this is not a priority and it's not helping you or adding value in your life, right? So the more you say yes to the wrong things, the more you compromise the leadership and well-being of yours. And you cannot be the authentic leader that you want to be, right? So you want to overcome these, perfectionism, people pleasing, external validation, and really own who you are. So you're not only reclaiming your time and energy, but you're reclaiming your power and who you are as a person. So all three can happen. And that's exactly what I do. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about that. So quality of life improves. So when you focus on what truly matters, what truly matters, what's really going to move the needle, you actually lead with clarity. You get more clarity. You make better decisions. So you improve your decision making for yourself and for your team. And your team is actually happier, right? There's more trust and you can maintain your health and happiness. So it can happen all at once, right? So it really matters on how you effectively manage it. So why is this all important? Because like I said, time and energy are currency of success for any executive. So you can have the teams, the resources, the strategies, but if you don't have that energy to lead effectively, it's all wasted, right? So, and this is something that I've been, like I said, guilty of. And I was struggling for so long. For the past 6 months, I was burnt out. And then I just completely shifted and took a break on weekends. And I was like, I'm not gonna, I used to look at my laptop and work on weekends. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I simplified my systems in my business. I even actually work with a mentor and a coach myself. So it's completely been amazing for me. And I use AI tools. I'm going to kind of tell you about an AI tool that's helping me with my time and blocking so that I set boundaries. It's been amazing for me. And you can tell like my energy is really good now and I'm doing these events. I used to procrastinate because I didn't have the energy to do these events, but now I do. So you can see the difference, right? So when you're managing your time well, you feel more in control of yourself. And when you're in control of yourself, you can lead your team better. You're less reactive and you're better equipped to make impactful decisions. But when you're overwhelmed, you're not able to think clearly, right? There's just so many things in your mind that's going on that you're just like confused, right? It's all about confusion and stagnation, and then you're not going to make the impact you want to make. And you cannot make high-level decisions quickly, and that is very important when you're working in a bigger company and an executive level. These things are super, really important qualities to have. So that affects your performance and that affects your impact. And if you can't have a peak performance, you won't be able to get that promotion and get that, recognition you deserve. So it all starts, as you can tell, a growth, promotion, all of this starts from the root cause of lack of, energy and not taking care of your health and prioritizing your time. So as you can tell, those are the priceless things now that no one really focuses on. So not only that, but I tell my clients that when you're not prioritizing the time properly, it can lead to even into your personal life and leak into your personal life. So exhaustion, stress, so you cannot fully engage with your loved ones. And then I see that it does make a difference. So you're always drained at work and you have nothing left, right? So if 80% of your energy is going to work, 20% you might project it on your family. And they're like, what's going on? And you can't fully engage and give them the love that they deserve and being with their kids. And kids just want their mom and their dad. And they're like, why would you make time for me, And it's going to affect all areas. So it's very important that, it's really good to take it seriously. So how do you make this real shift in managing your time and energy? So basically, first off, let me say that time management isn't just about packing your day with more tasks, like I said. It's about creating that space, simplifying things, and creating space for what truly matters. So you're going to focus on quality over quantity, as always, right? It's not about 4 hours. Within that 4 hours, what are the most important tasks you can finish within each 30 minutes or 1 hour, right? So here's how you can maximize your time in a way that adds value. So identify your focus areas, right? So focus on what will drive the most results. So rather than spreading yourself too thin. So there is a matrix that we use, and especially for like project management, there are a lot of tools out there that you can actually prioritize for different, departments. So like for me, like marketing, for sales, I literally simplified a lot of things. I don't just go on calls anymore. I don't get on calls just easily and waste my 1 hour and then they're not ready. I actually qualify people before I get on a call. I see who's aligning with what I'm looking for with my goals. I need to know what my values are and choose the people that align with that, right? So it's all about your values and your goals. You want to create boundaries and set them in place. And it takes a lot of self-worth to kind of make sure your boundaries are set. And if they, step over those boundaries, how are you going to be like, hey, no, this is some time for me to rest, right? So set clear boundaries to protect your time and not just some energy as well. So say no to the things that don't align with your goals, like I said. So if you're going into an executive role, and you believe that, yeah, I don't have time for just for like talking about stuff that doesn't align with my mission, then don't do it, right? Because sometimes we're like, I'll just do it and I'll just talk to this person, but they're like talking XYZ, and you're just like, this has nothing to do with my career and what direction I want to take this in. It's not really aligned with my vision for this company. Then don't get on the call, right? So you need to be very strict about your time. So say no to the things that don't align. Leverage technology, like I said. So I'm using Reclaim AI, which I'm going to show in a minute, to automatically block time off for some deep work and create focus blocks in your calendar. So I had a client who, she was very burnt out. And not only was she burnt out, but she wasn't able to like be assertive and say that to her manager. So we worked together as her coach, and I was blocking time on her calendar, literally live during the call, implementing it. And I told her to go to the manager and assert herself that it's okay to stand up for what you believe in and stand in your power because this is what you truly value. And when she did, the manager was actually supportive. Like she was a little afraid that the manager wouldn't agree. And, I asked her, like, when you're standing up for what you value, which is your health, um, and the fact that you're this burnt out that you can't even sleep and you're just drained. I mean, if this manager doesn't, support that, then it's just not the right company. You're in the wrong culture and you're fighting for what you deserve. And it worked and they were supportive. So I think some part of it's just a fear that we all have, and that's okay. And if the manager doesn't agree, then you have to take control of your career and your life and be like, hey, this is important to me. Maybe I'm in the wrong culture. Maybe I'm not in the right company culture who have a manager that can't support the fact that, hey, I'm burnt out. My health is getting affected. So that's one thing, but we want to leverage the resources, the technology that's there. There's so many AI tools that you can use. If not in your workplace, at least on a personal basis after work, you can make time for yourself and just block 1 hour for kids, 30 minutes for meditation, um, 45 minutes for, you know, workout. And my client, she's an MBA student and, working full time, and she was able to do it easily. So, I think we all give excuses about the time thing, but we have to make time for what's important and master prioritization. So, using the matrix, which I'm going to show you in a minute, so understand the difference between urgent and important, right? And prioritize based on what moves the needle. So, the impact can make. So urgent is the first thing. So if it's like three urgent, focus on that, but don't do the important ones just yet, right? So those things are very key in how you do this. So it's not just about squeezing more in, it's about cutting out the noise, cutting out the distraction, cutting out the things that aren't going to move it to the next level if you need it. If you have something that needs to be done within an hour, then don't do something that doesn't align with that task, right? So giving your attention to high leverage activities. Okay, so that's how you maximize your time. So basically, when I say my time blocking for focus, time blocking means uninterrupted focus time. So for example, I use Reclaim AI to automatically schedule my, blocks. So I literally say focus block. I literally say lunch break, right? And whoever wants to book an appointment with me, it won't let it. If you want to do it during lunch, I won't let it happen, right? So AI syncs those calendars in there and it's just blocked, right? And I don't need to worry about anything. The tool helps me carve out undisturbed times. So for each day for strategic work, so just kind of thinking, just to sit there and just think and self-reflect, that's totally fine. Um, so if you start at 7 a.m. in the morning, just take around 6:45 to 7 just to relax, to do a meditation. I just literally put on a meditation from Calm, the Calm app, and I just turned it on and I'm just like, it feels so good. I have a desktop app with like a waterfall music and sound, just keeps me at peace because I do have energy, my energy gets drained easily. So those are small things that you have to do that makes such a big difference, right? So when I protect my time, I'm actually ensuring my energy is at the peak. So your energy is completely peak at that time when it's focused and you're all in, right? You're just like bam, bam, bam. Like you're able to get the work done quickly, right? So I also use Notion. And Notion is like has different types of templates that you kind of reassesses how you spend your time. You can actually make is rather than doing a to-do list, you can just write that down and be like, you can change it up and making sure they have a high impact activity. So realistic weekly schedule. So making sure you get your time under control. And then the 3-2-1 method. So every morning, identify three big goals that you want to accomplish, and then break them down into two small actions that go with that goal, right? Not with a bigger goal, with that specific goal. And one thing you can delegate, right? So if you're, a C-suite like me, you can delegate, which I literally did. I was going through lead generation, trying to figure it out, but I actually just delegated that. So if you can do admin tasks that you can delegate or it's not really important, or delegated meaning you can use an AI. There's so many AI tools now that can do email automations. I know I just tried Zapier, which is amazing. That just delegated my emails and follow-up emails. So whatever you can use, try it on a personal level and not at work, and then see if you can implement it at work. So like I said, by simplifying your daily focus, you eliminate, you're very simplifying things, decision fatigue, and you're getting clear on your top priorities. So I'll show you the Reclaim Planner that I created. So, okay, so as you can tell here, so this is the planner, and all of my calendars are in sync. I Reclaim AI. So planners, priorities, the stats and tasks, and you can have habits. So I always put like from 9 a.m. to like a morning catch up, just as for me, like self-reflection, or just, going into the kitchen and, getting something to like kind of get ready to cook, or just popping in like some little bit of music to keep it going for me, right? The energy flow, especially when you're a woman, that energy flow is very important. You're just kind of chill, relaxed before you get into a meeting, because that meeting is important that you don't want to be in a meeting and like yawning, and just like very tired and you're not enthusiastic about work. You want to make sure you're excited. And even though maybe the task might not be super exciting for you, at least you'll have that energy to bring in, right? So I have that. I have a lunch break, and then I have my different types of meetings, right? That's always there. And then I have like a decompress component, right? Just a 15-minute buffer, right? And everything that's on here. So if someone wants to like have a meeting with me, you book a meeting, it really literally takes out the focus time, right? So they cannot book during that focus time, and everything is AI just syncs it. It's so quick. This doesn't take that long. You just have to sync your calendar and it does it for me, right? You have your scheduling links. So it's always there, as you can tell, all these meetings that I have. So it's really nice just to decompress, but you need to know how to prioritize that. And yeah, so you have like the priorities, the high priority, what's critical, medium priority. Um, yeah, you can put high priority, critical, columns, and medium priority, right? So you can actually do this really quickly. Doesn't take that long. You can have stats on here so you can break down your time. So shallow work breaks in one-on-ones and tells you like how much are you breaking that time. So it's really nice to have these technology tools here. Um, and focus time. So deep work versus shallow work. You can see like what your most productive day was, how many meetings. So, which one on Friday is the heaviest on Tuesday. So how many people you met with. So if you feel like you're meeting with so many people in the week and that's just draining you, you can reduce that, depending on that. And hey, like it even tracks your work-life balance, right? So personal hours on average, on vacation. So you have a tracker within this. Um, Hours of, breaks between meetings. And I know a lot of executives are traveling in the car, so you can do that as well. So there's just so many things that we haven't been using wisely, right? You can also share different habits. So if you want to add in like exercise every Monday through Friday, or even like I do like a revenue analysis or review company goals, you can add anything on here. It's super, nice to just look at everything all in one app, right? On my desktop. Like it just doesn't take that long to do. So you can have a create habit template. So it's very important when you're disciplined with your time and energy. You want to, if you're a VP or do you want to go to senior VP or you want to have that executive presence, you want to show up as that leader, you need to think and act differently and making sure that you're upgrading your habits as well. So you can actually create a habit template, right? So making sure maybe you want to take a walk for like 10 minutes at like, 7:30 to 8. You can just put that in. So maybe that you're doing, let's see, training, or maybe you just want to do like a planning, right? So there's like so many templates that are here that you can think about within your work. Maybe you can ask to implement this at work. So, for example, and budget planning. So there's just so many on here, right? So that you don't have to like try to like take 1 hour to figure this out. It's all done for you. So look how easy things are when you're doing all of this. The smart meetings. So to sync a lot of people's schedules if you have 5 or 6 people in the team, right? So it's very easy. It syncs all of your calendars into one. I have two accounts. I have my work and my personal. So it's very easy to put my personal stuff on there as well. It doesn't take that long, and you actually create your schedulings, right? So I would definitely recommend Reclaim AI. For honest, like this really was a game changer for me. It took me barely 10-20 minutes to set this up, and I just use it. I just send a link and it's automatically synced. So I would definitely recommend this using on a personal level at least, on weekends, if not at work. But I would see if you can implement this at work. Okay, so that's the Reclaim AI. So the Notion I have, so I can put the link below for that. So Notion is the other one that I can send you the template as well. So if you just like, DM me, or I can put in the link as well below. So I'm going to share this. So basically, this is the Eisenhower matrix that I've been using, and I tell my clients with time management. So the Eisenhower matrix is an easy way to figure out, just a quick way, what to do first, what to schedule, delegate, and eliminate, right? So this part is urgent, important, right? So which we call do first. So this is just an example that you can write on here for yourself. Like I said, you can do this. You don't have to have the manager do this for you. You can implement, take the initiative and implement it for your team, right? So if you have a team that you're, leading, I would definitely recommend your team to do this, right? Or if even for yourself, this is really nice. I do it for myself. So urgent, important, so do first, right? So when you're doing this, this is what you're going to do for the next 3 hours. You're not going to focus on these, right? So then there's a not urgent and important. So the not urgent important is like important, but you don't need to do it within the next 3, 4 hours. You can still schedule it. You can still keep it there and schedule it for, I don't know. So if you have something at like from 2 to 5 p.m., it's not urgent, but it's important to do. Just schedule that for 2 to 5. Don't do that at like 10 a.m., right? So you have to really be very careful about your focus and being very intentional about your, activities and making sure they're highly impactful. So even with my clients, I do one-on-one sessions with them. But every session that I do is basically 60 minutes, but these 60 minutes are implementation sessions. I'm not the kind of person who's like, here's a strategy session. I'm going to just keep talking and then you implement. We're going to implement it together. So we're going to actually take action together. So, which is why my clients get a lot of outcomes and results within like 2, 3 days. They see the transformation 2, 3 days because I keep my all of my 60-minute sessions they're very t managed well. The time is managed well. It's very effective. It's very efficient. It's understandable. Like you can actually use templates and we're not using too much manual, but like it's very efficient, right? And impactful. You're actually getting results within 2 or 3 days. This is what I do because each time 60 minutes of my time is precious and 60 minutes of the client's time is also very precious, right? So I value and respect anyone's time so that you get the most out of that 60 minutes, right? That's how I am as, a C-suite, as a, entrepreneur as well. So even this can be applied in corporate. Also, not important is like delegating it. So, you can delegate stuff. I delegate in my business. I have virtual assistants, I have lead gen. And for in your case, delegating, maybe it's grocery shopping, maybe it's anything else. Maybe it's just simple admin tasks you can tell others to do. Um, so you have to see what you can delegate and what you cannot delegate with your team. So if it's not important and not urgent, that should be last on your priority list. That should not even be looked at, right? And you can say you can eliminate anything. So, eliminate anything in your workplace that's just, maybe this could just be on it for like next week or next 2 weeks, right? So, I'm just keeping things very like broad right now, not very specific, but this is a nice matrix to have so that you can just tick it off. I'm like, okay, you can kind of segmentation is so important in time management so that you know what to focus on. And you're not focusing so much on social media and like reading, newspaper or newsletters for no reason. I know social media comes in the way. You want to have distraction apps, which is, sometimes it's like that and that's okay. But you want to make sure that every task is impactful. So this is just a table version, like urgent, important, done, tick market, status, what happened, deadline. So it's very simple to the point, and this is a Notion template that I can send you. So this would be really nice, right? So I keep things very simple, but even though I keep it simple, the tools I use, the work I do, and the work I help with my clients, even though it's simple, it's very effective, right? And as executives, that's what we need to value, and that's what's important to us. So it's very important that we focus on that. So this way you're not just burnt out, but you're showing up better as a person. So you want to make sure that you're taking the time to do this, right? You're saying that like I will do it, it's not going to help you. You don't want to go in circles. So now that this has helped you, make sure that, you go ahead and implement these things as soon as you watch this, right? So that's what's important. Okay, awesome. So yeah. I hope you feel inspired to start reclaiming your time. So it's all about being intentional, like I said, setting boundaries and, just using the tools to give yourself the focus you deserve. So if you want to dive deeper into strategies, and you want them to like tailor them to your specific needs as a VP or a senior VP or a director in your, company or your work. So I invite you to join my Leadership Academy. So through my one-on-one time management training, we'll go into more detail on how to manage your time and we'll do it together. So we will work together to create a personalized time management plan for you, right? So one that works with your lifestyle. Like if you're, you have kids, you have two kids, you're a mother, and I know that's super hard. I've helped my three of my clients out as a woman and as a mother. They thought it was great. I gave them worksheets and different tools, and that works with your goals and leadership style, right? So we'll tackle the unique challenges of what you're facing and come up with real actionable steps, right? You're going to leave the session with like, hey, I got this all set up, right? So I'm here. These are sessions and trainings that we implement together on the call, right? You're not going to do this later because then you're going to end up procrastinating. So I believe in implementing it together in real time, and you're going to leave the session with everything set up for you, right? So I'm happy to do it for you and quick implementation, quick transformation. So if you're ready to take control of your time and energy, and you're really serious about this, and you want to really show up better, the way I am right now. This was not how I was 6 months ago, but look at me now because this is what I did. And lead at your highest level. To be honest, like the fact that I just did this, I feel amazing. Like I feel very energetic. I'm able to do things that I used to procrastinate. Now it's just easy for me to do. And I feel very happy and in flow. I just feel like I'm bringing my best self already, right? And that's exactly what I was looking for as a leader. And it's very important that people really know me as my best self, right? And so I'd love to work together with you. And so DM me or click the link below to book a, consultation. And if you want to learn more about the Leadership Academy, there's different topics. And we'll love to get started on reclaiming your time and living your best life and just being the best leader that you want to be, right? Really showing up as that transformational visionary leader that you're always wanting to be. And also sharing this with your team, right? So your team looks up to you, right? The way you show up, and which is very important. So I hope this really helped. So thank you again for your time today, and I look forward to supporting your journey. So a lot more videos to come about different topics, but I'm going to just be posting topics on things that a lot of people are struggling with these days. Telling me to like, asking me like, do you have a solution? Like, what should I do? So I'll be posting this as a YouTube video on my YouTube and on LinkedIn. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn, Veena Ramaswamy and Veena Rama. So, I'll be posting this on my podcast as well as an audio. So I hope to see you soon.